Hey everyone, I'm here with another expert for the month. We've got Whitney L. Barkley. You got to say L because that's how she writes her name out. That's how she says her name. So welcome, Whitney. Welcome.
Hey, Gail, and welcome, or excuse me, and thank you to all the She Was Made community members for allowing me to be on this webinar. I'm super excited.
Okay, so I like to start off with how did we meet? Okay. Um, yeah, let's go into that. How did we meet and how did all that good stuff?
You know what? I think we met on Twitter. I'm pretty sure we met on Twitter. I know I followed you, you followed me, and then randomly you were like, and then we were also Facebook friends. And I think you came to like one of my webinars that I did back in the day. And then you came to me like, I had this idea, call me. And I'm like, sure, I never talked to you a day in my life. But I'm like, why not? So I called you and you're like, I want to have this summit. It's going to be the biggest thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, okay, I was sold. And I think we just started to talk throughout. And then I think we actually met at your brunch in August. I think that was the first time that I actually met you in person. So yeah, we met on the internet, which is where most connections are being made nowadays. So
I know social media, and I always tell people like social media, that is like where you're gonna find people. That is where you make connections with people that are not locally in your city, and that's how you get to know people. Okay, so tell everybody, I know what you do, Whitney, but our people and some of our people may know what you do, but kind of tell us what you do.
okay. Well, I am a visual branding and real-time social media strategist. So what that is specifically, I work with authors, entrepreneurs, and speakers to help them build their personal brands, to help them go on and off the stage. So for me, I've kind of been inadvertently doing this for several years, but I really started to niche down in the last year to really define who it is that I wanted to work with. So people know me. People probably have met me in different facets of my life. I mean, I've done everything from photography to DJing to everything else. But I found that everything, the commonality that I had, everything drew me back to people who go on that stage. So my goal is to help people get visible through their marketing materials and helping them develop so that way they can be a dynamic speaker that ultimately gets paid and gets seen.
Now, what made you go into this, Whitney? I mean, what is the purpose behind you doing this for people?
Well, I've always worked with speakers. Like I remember when I was in the fifth grade, we used to have a competition in the fifth grade for DARE. I don't know if you remember the DARE program to keep kids off of drugs.
Oh my
So I
God.
remember I had a friend who was so nervous about an essay. So I literally wrote her speech and she won the competition. So I've always been behind the scenes helping people pretty much figure out what it is that they want to say, find their message, and help them get seen. I think I'm very passionate about it because, I mean, speakers are literally the lifeblood of some people's motivation. Every day we're scrolling on social media, we're going to YouTube, and we're looking up ways to be motivated. We're looking for people who can give us that information. And there's so many people who have a message and they just don't know how to get it out there. Maybe they speak well, but they don't know how to put themselves on the map. So my goal is to help them get on the map so people can ultimately hear their message.
Now, with that being said, the whole speaker thing, the message, what are some, and I like to talk about tips too, because, some of us like to do it ourselves and some of us just are curious so we can prepare ourselves. What are
Mhm.
some tips that you can share with us?
So for anyone who wants to be a professional public speaker, the first thing that you want to do is identify your signature talks. So if you want to become a paid speaker, the thing that you want to do is to make sure that you have at least 3 signature talks that you can use for different formats, because there's different types of speaking. You have your keynote speeches, you have your workshops, you have your panel discussion. So there's certain things that you kind of want to prepare for, but you want to make sure that you have those signature talks. So when people are looking you up, they know exactly what it is that you do. A lot of people make the mistake of saying, oh, I can speak about anything, or they're very vague, like, oh, I can speak about confidence, or I can speak about marketing. But what specifically can you really speak about? So you want to make sure that you kind of niche down your topics so when you're able to speak, people know exactly what it is that you're talking about.
You know what? That's interesting that you say that because As I began to look up keynotes, I mean, for our summit, for our yearly summit, and when I look up these keynotes, and even as I'm looking for speakers to speak at the summit, you are absolutely right. Professional speakers, they have a specific topic that they talk about. It's no other. They either have one topic, two topic, three topics, but you're absolutely right about that. You do have to have, and as I'm learning this whole process, embarking on this journey, and I'm seeing there's a repetition of, you being prepared with these certain topics. And you're right, when you find these people, you know what their topics are, and that gives you an opportunity to say, oh, okay, I like that. No, that's not what we're talking about this year. Oh, I like that. So it gives you an option.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of new speakers, they're so eager and ready to get on the stage. They're ready to talk about anything. And when you do that, you stretch yourself too thin and you're finding yourself researching topics that you may not be passionate about or things that you don't even know about. And ultimately, that will show up in your presentation. So you want to make sure that when you create your signature topics, it's centralized around your expertise. And another thing that I definitely want to mention is to understand that speaking is a business. So the reason we do those signature talks is because if you ever notice with most professional speakers, they have something built into that topic. So if you have a specific topic, oftentimes people will have a coaching program that's built into that topic, or they'll have a book or a workbook. So make sure that when you go to the stage, especially when you go to the stage, that you have something that you can offer. A lot of people make the mistake of, they do their presentation, they're like, hey, thank you, but there's no takeaway. They're not offering their audience another opportunity to get to know them or to work with them one-on-one. So once you develop that signature topic, figure out how you can expand that into a masterclass, a coaching program, or some sort of product so that people can still have a piece of you once you leave the stage.
Oh my gosh, girl, I'm sitting over here like, okay, because I've done that. I've been asked to be a keynote, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first time being asked to be a keynote. What do I do? How do I, So I found some sort of an outline that I can follow, but tailoring it to my expertise, but also my experience, what I've gone through. And like you say, have something towards the end where you can say, okay, come on and work with me, or have something where, you can still offer the audience something. So, I'm just sitting here like, oh my gosh, you're so right. You're so right.
No, you should. And one thing that I picked up too, anyone who's a speaker, you should definitely get a domain, and it should be, so for you, example, freegiftbygailgardner.com. So when you're pitching, you say, hey, everybody, so pull out your phone and I want you to go to www.gailgardner.com. And on this site, you'll have a free downloadable ebook so that you can learn how to do X, Y, Z. Because what that's doing is, A, is bringing traffic to your site, but B, you're capturing the email addresses and the names of the recipients. Because sometimes, you may forget to ask the person who's organizing the event for the contact information of the individuals. But that's just another way to kind of cover yourself to make sure that the people who are interested can still stay in touch.
You know what? Okay, so you will have to create, you can't use so shewasmade.com. So you're saying create a whole entire different domain for them to download free gift. Don't say, okay, go to shewasmade.com and download your free gift. No,
it's too much. I mean, if you do free gift by gailgardner.com, that's easy. Because what you could do, you don't have to create a whole new site. All you have to do is just redirect that domain name to your actual website. So it can still go to She Was Made, but it's just easier for people to remember.
Oh, I see. Okay. You know what? And that was one thing I did not incorporate, a free gift. Now I'm going to incorporate that free gift.
Oh yeah.
This is amazing. So what do you have next? I mean, Whitney, you are doing some amazing things. And what is like your end goal so all these things that you're doing and that you're passionate about, you are purpose driven. What is your end goal? Like what is, I asked you two things in one sentence. I said, what were you going to do next? And what is your end goal?
What am I going to do next? And what is my end goal? So
what is your next plan? Mm-hmm.
So what's next for me? Actually in the process of developing two things. This summer, I'm actually starting a summer workshop series for people who want to expand their speaking business. You know, maybe they've been speaking, but they don't really have the right things in place to take them to the next level. So it'll be a 5-part class, and the class is called Speak Now or Forever Hide Your Gifts, kind of like a play on Speak Now, Forever Hold Your Peace.
Yes.
So,
I like it.
So it'll be a summer workshop series, and we'll talk about all sorts of things, from things such as how to create a speaker's bio, how to create the speaker one sheet, how to use real-time social media marketing, and really how to really pretty much elevate yourself offline, or how to elevate yourself online. So talking about podcasting, videos, live streaming, how those things can catapult you into being the speaker that you want to be. So that is one thing. The second thing that is also ultimately being developed as well is the speaker success planner. So there is nothing out there to help speakers stay organized with their events. So, you know, when you have those signature topics and you need to tailor it for a specific audience, you know, how do you format that? You know, how do you make sure that you have all the accommodations you need when you get to a specific speaking engagement? What are those little details? So I've created something that will allow speakers to keep track of every engagement, to keep track of everything that they sold, every email address that they're able to capture, so that way that they're able to ultimately measure their success as a speaker, because a lot of times people don't think about that. But for me, to kind of bring it all in, my end goal is to really build a company that people can go to and be confident that whatever it is that they need for their speaking business is there. More specifically, I really want to expand the real-time social media marketing, because there's not a lot of people who specialize in that. Most people are just social media managers. They'll manage people's content on a day-to-day basis. But with what I do with my business, Speaker Razi, I make sure that people, when you go speak, Gail, when you go to those speaking engagements, someone is right there with you taking pictures, they're doing their tweets, they're going Facebook Live. So the people who are not there will say, dang, the next time Gail goes to speak, I'm going to be there because she did an amazing job. So I want to build that fear of missing out, and also to build your portfolio, because when event planners are looking for speakers, they look for that kind of thing. They want to see how active you are on social media and if people are paying attention. So I really want to raise that portfolio and really kind of be that number one expert in that area of business.
Oh, wow. Well, you know me. Use me, honey. Use me. Use me to show people, you know what I mean? And that's what it, and you know what, she was made, you know, that's why I built. So She Was Made is not, and I tell people all, you know, all the time that it's really not about me, but it's a platform, some kind of way it turned into. And it's both ways. I help women with personal and business development, but it's also a platform where women can kind of use it to showcase, like, use it to showcase what you do, show your creativity, who you are, because it's just an expansion. And not only that, but you're building off of this platform. You're getting exposed, you're being educated, you're being empowered. You're also making some meaningful connections with other women. So yeah, I love it, Whitney. Use me, okay?
Yes.
All right, well, that's good. That's good. So now I like to talk about books. You know, reading for me is, you know, that's how I ended up on this journey of self-discovery, learning about who I am, but also learning about certain disciplines that you should have and applying those things. And anytime I get an opportunity to read a book, I'm always applying whatever it is that I'm learning in that book. I always apply it to my life. And every time I apply it, these, you know, I'm getting, you know, significant results. So kind of, I mean, do you have a book that kind of had an impact in your life, changed your life, or some kind of way just had an impact on
Yes. So the first book that comes to mind is a book called Building a Story Brand by Donna Miller. Building a Story Brand is one of the most amazing books that I've ever read, because it really teaches you how to tell your story and how to convey it in your marketing materials. Now, most people, when they talk about their story, they're not really they're thinking about them and they're not thinking about the person who's actually going to view it or read it. So building a story brand really helps you break down the fundamentals of understanding how to create your story. Because when someone's listening to a story, you have to think about it like almost like a Disney movie, right? You have that humble beginning, then there's a problem, then there's a climax, and then there's a resolution at the end. So that's literally how you have to think about everything that you're doing. So, in the book, he talks about the different types of problems that you're solving, because a lot of the times when we think about our problems, we only look at the external problem. So let's say, for example, I have a gym. The external problem may be I want to help my customers lose weight, right? That's what we see on the outside. But on the inside, you want to think about, why don't people lose weight? A lot of people don't lose weight because they're insecure. Maybe they don't want to go to the gym themselves, don't have accountability, they don't have the time. So you want to think about those internal problems as well. And then it also breaks down to a philosophical problem. So if you don't lose weight, what happens? If you're not living a healthy life, you eventually won't have a life. So it's very important to think about how your weight will impact every other area of your life. So, when he broke it down into those three categories, external, internal, and philosophical, it totally changed the way that I looked at storytelling. So now, when I write things, when I'm trying to tell a story, I'm a lot more intentional. I'm not just trying to get the information out there. I'm trying to create a connection that someone can actually relate to. So building a story brand by Donald Miller is fantastic.
Wow, that's amazing. I think I'm gonna read that book myself.
It's super.
I am learning so much, and that's the thing. Like, you don't know everything. You don't know it all, and we're not perfect people. And even with this webinar, with the dings going on in the background, my mother in the background, it's not, I want to be able to showcase the authenticity of who we really are. You know what I mean? Because you see the nice pictures, you see the website, and you see all this stuff, and you have this thing thinking that, okay, these are some perfect people. But no, I think that, I'm really going to look for that book. And for everybody, that I posted, all this information that our experts are sharing with us, I posted into the link too. Now, before we go, Whitney, how can we find you? Because you are very, very valuable. You're very informative. You know your stuff. And I know that people are going to want to connect with you. So how can we find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Whitney L. Barkley everywhere. You can find me at speakerazzi.com or whitneylbarkley.com. And feel free to email me at whitney@speakerazzi.com.
See, I told you that L. You got to make sure you have that L in Whitney L. Barkley. All right. Yeah. Well, any words of wisdom? We love to hear words of wisdom. Any words of wisdom that we can take away?
Words of wisdom. This is just something that I guess is on my heart personally. Don't feel like you can never change anything that you wanted to do. As I mentioned earlier, it took, I'm 27 now. So, it's taken me probably since I left college until now to really niche down and figure out what it is that I want to do. So, I would really encourage everyone, go for everything that you want to do. If it doesn't work out, it's not a failure. It's definitely a learning lesson. And, just to be confident in everything that you do, and don't allow anyone to make you feel bad for switching lanes or doing what makes you happy.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Well, there you go. You just heard it from Whitney L. Barkley. That wisdom, the takeaway, that was good. So, all right. You heard where you can find her. I'm going to go ahead and put the link, put the book, put the how you can find her, because I know you're going to want to look for her. All that information will be there. Until next time, continue to use what you have today to empower tomorrow.